I want to give you an overview of iQur, which is a vaccine company looking for investment. So we use a proprietary technology to form virus-like particles that form our vaccine, and our lead candidate is a universal influenza vaccine, which so far we've shown is 100% effective in mice, in preclinical models. Now, flu is still a very major killer. Even in the 21st century, it accounts for 3 to 5 million cases of severe illness each year and about 500,000 cases of death per annum. And the reason that flu is such a difficult target is that the virus is a master of disguise. It varies its outer coat to form many different strains which change each year. And even within a year, the outer coat of the virus can change. So it's very difficult to predict which strain of influenza you need to vaccinate against. Whilst there's some small molecule drugs available on the market, none of these prevent flu. They just limit the course of disease and maybe reduce symptoms a little bit. And the seasonal vaccines that many of us have, and many of you may have already had this year, provide very variable protection. The vaccines that are currently delivered protect against 1 to 2 strains maximum out of about 15 or 16. And they're based on a prediction or guesswork that identifies which strain of flu is going to be causing the outbreak that year. They're very difficult to design, difficult to manufacture, and it would be impossible to make large batches of influenza vaccine to tackle an epidemic such as killed more people in 1919 than were killed in the whole of the First World War. And it certainly does not protect against pandemic flu, where a virus crosses from pigs or chickens into man. Now, vaccines are important because no infectious disease has ever been eliminated or eradicated just by the use of drugs. Vaccines are always important, and they're not reliant on drugs to work alongside. The flu vaccine market is very considerable, 4 billion in 2014 and predicted to rise to about 7 billion in 2020. And iQur, our company, is working towards the creation of a universal influenza vaccine, a vaccine that would eliminate the need for seasonal vaccines and would provide coverage against every different strain of influenza, and also strains of influenza that might cross the barrier from animals into man. So what's our technology? Really brings together 2 key things. First of all, a protein core, which is made up of hepatitis B core molecules. And this forms a protein structure into which we can engineer antigens of interest, proteins from the virus we're trying to vaccinate against. Now, the second clever thing about this vaccine is that we've been able to identify parts of the influenza virus that don't vary from strain to strain. And by presenting those invariant parts of flu on our vaccine platform, we're able to produce immune responses that protect mice against any strain of influenza. And this avoids the need to redesign the vaccine each year. We're also able to use this same technology to design a portfolio of different vaccines for different infectious agents using the same principle of the virus-like particle made of hepatitis B core and the pathogen antigens inserted on the outside. The current stage of development that we've reached is a major inflection point. We've got proof of principle in animals, and we can vaccinate mice and produce 100% protection against lethal influenza. We've also, in parallel, been working with our manufacturers to have a process that is capable of producing enough of this vaccine to conduct clinical trials. We've spoken to the MHRA, the Medicines Healthcare Regulatory Agency, about our projected clinical trial, and they've given us a positive indication that they would approve an application for a license. And we're about to move into manufacture of the vaccine for a human trial due to start in the summer of 2018. So our strategy is to complete that phase 1 trial and at that point seek to either out-license or partner with a major pharmaceutical company to produce the vaccine for human use. So in terms of the investment highlights, we have exclusive commercial rights to the technology around our vaccine platform and the specific vaccine. We've got a very strong board with advisors who have experience of vaccine development and small molecule development. We've transferred our data to a partner who's ready to commence large-scale manufacture of the vaccine later this year. And we have an innovative and proprietary approach that uses these virus-like particles to produce a universal protection against flu. We need further funding. We need £3 million to take the vaccine from the stage it's at now into a clinical trial and to demonstrate that the vaccine is effective in man. But that phase 1 study is not just a proof of safety. We envisage that by vaccinating healthy individuals, we'll demonstrate that we can elicit immune responses in those people that are well known to correlate with protection against flu. And therefore, we'll be able to show a proof of mechanism as well as safety in that first trial. So to give an idea of the way ahead, I'm not expecting you to read the detail here. I'm happy to discuss it with you in more detail. But we'd hope to enter a clinical trial the summer of 2018, complete that by the end of the year, and be ready for partnering in early 2019. And the £3 million of investment is virtually all ploughed in to the steps required to get to the end of that phase 1 clinical trial. Very little of it goes into maintaining the company itself. So I will close by thanking you for your attention there. We're all available on stage on stand 49 after this talk. Happy to talk to you this afternoon or take questions now. Thank you for your attention.